what is being
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, good. So just, I'll go into more things here. So in terms of that, the walls are gonna have to go up around the rink and so forth. On the, what I'm gonna consider the south side, okay, so the south side of the building is going to be the side that is where the church is, the wooded back of the building, if you wanna call that. North side would be the front entrance, and then east would be the Hoover Road side, and the west would be that. So on that south side there, what's being proposed is a wall across the back with a slanted area up to there. Right now, the section of the floor on that side of the wall, I forget what it is, but there's a small set of kind of carpeted area that goes between the rink and the wall.
Could we get a printout of that?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a proposal right now.
Yeah,
so, and again, this is just, I mean, I'll leave it to those guys in terms of what they share with
I
me.
can send everyone the images
So
after the meeting.
So,
we can look through it.
but yeah, so anyway, so there's gonna be a wall there, then there'll be a wall around there. There will be on the east side of the building coming off the skating rink where the stage is right now. The stage has to go. I know that was one of your things. The stage that cannot stay, that is an ADA issue. It is not in compliance with ADA. It needs to come out.
However, that doesn't mean that DJ,
No,
there,
DJ
there will be a
Yeah, it'll be a
DJ
DJ
area.
Yeah, we'll get the DJ area. So hold on, Tommy. I'll get around to the area. So where the stage is right now is just going to be regular height with the current height of the carpeted area in the rink, but there will be two entrances off that side there onto the rink. So where the wall is right now, it would just come around the bend there. You can get onto the rink from that side. You can get onto the rink from that side.
Are you talking about this side?
Yeah, right there. So there's two entrances onto the rink at that.
So that's where you're seeing the platform for the,
Yeah, I can
It's
get
gonna
up
be
here. Probably
removed.
easier if I go up here and I can point to it.
right there is where the platform was. It's gonna
Yeah.
be removed and then it's gonna become an entrance.
Yeah, just onto the rink. So, so what I was saying before is, so this area here on the rink, there's just going to have to be on that south side. There's literally about this big of an area between the wall and the rink that's carpeted. So that's just got to be walled up, and then you slant the wall up just to make it aesthetically. It'll leave a section of the wall there for potential artwork or some other stuff to go on that back side of the wall. This right here, right now, this is where the stage is. Right now, this wall right here at the end is a cinder block or a stone wall. I don't know if anybody realized it was. I don't know if anyone's ever hit it, but it's a stone wall.
Yeah.
The wall itself, part of it, of course, be retained as much as we can, unless it becomes that when we cut into it, it gets damaged and it becomes a regular wall right there. But you'll have on and off from both sides. This will be a walkway, and then there'll be on here, on there. So just down that east end here to get on and off the rink. This section over here of the building, this right now, there's no overlay on this, so I'm going to try and, right now, this is where the old party room is and where the skate rental area is, as well as where, I'm just going to call it the old pro shop. A few little items in there are probably being sold or whatever else. So what's on, what we're saying we're going to be able to do is we're going to knock out that party room area over here, which is undersized. It can't actually fit a lot of people by code. So it's kind of a small space. So knock that all out. This is all going to come wide open. One of the things we realized about this building is the interior walls are all non-load bearing. So any walls within the interior structure, not the exterior walls, they can be moved. So that allows some creativity. So what we're saying is we're going to get rid of this. Right now, the skate rental room goes this way. I'm going to turn the skate rental room this way. That little pro shop area, which has got some damage in it, it's going to be fixed. Will be gone. It'll just be a skate rental. The skate rental counter will be here. It'll be a high-low counter, so they'll have a low area for ADA accessible. And then this area over here, which used to be the skate area, as well as the little party room over here, will become where the arcade games will go. right? So the games for you play and you get the tickets on and stuff like that, and you can redeem just on here, we've got like a little redemption counter on there. So, you get 200 tickets, you go get yourself, I don't know what 200 tickets get you nowadays. A lollipop, I don't know.
Stuff that you don't want your kids bringing up.
Right, well, yeah. Well, that, it's not really worth the value of what the little army guys or the lollipops or the sticky spiders and stuff like that. So that'll be over here. Of course, old new carpet throughout the whole thing. So I just want to throw that out because I don't want to miss that. On the front coming
Excuse me
in.
before you go further.
Yes, Mr.
You saying that the little party room that you're gonna destroy, it's gonna, how many people can it hold?
Now?
No,
It's-
not now, but in what y'all planning on doing down there at the bottom?
So, well, let me get to let me get the flow because I'm gonna work my way around here.
Yeah, but I don't want you to skip that because we edit now. That's why I'm asking
Right.
these questions.
It's gonna go over here. Okay, these are party tables. These are tables over here. These are seating tables. So I'll just go over here. Over here off that back wall, there's gonna be a ramp on this side too. There's gonna be a ramp down and a ramp down this way, right? So 2 ramps, all right? This section of the building here will have tables and booths down here. This will be considered a section for when parties are going on. If parties aren't going on, there'll be regular general seating over here. This section will also serve as the classroom, right? So this is the classroom. This is the STEM classroom for the high school classes, the elementary and the middle school kids that they want to serve. On this back wall over here, there'll be a giant screen that'll be associated with that STEM. So the programming will be, the kids will be here and there'll be programming up there. So this here, this is the party area as well. Okay, so it's,
Point of question, it's all open air, right?
Yeah, it's all open.
in.
yeah, it's not enclosed. There's no like walls and doors and stuff like
And
that.
neither is
enclosing
the
area.
arcade area, that's
No,
also.
it's all open.
So it's more of an open area, no
Yep.
interior walls.
Open flow. So just think about like houses now, right? Like the kitchens and the living rooms and everything. There's nothing's divided.
My question is, suppose somebody want to rent it for a party, so what you're saying is the only area they're gonna be able to use for their party area would be over there on your right where you at now.
Right here.
Your left, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they can be able to still rent that as part of renting the ring. This is where I'm coming out, because
If you-
I want to throw a party over there, a birthday party for my child.
Yeah.
And I wanted to set up so they can have a place for them.
Yeah, you talk to the operator, you talk to them about their birthday party rentals or their packages, and this is the area that will not take place in. Correct.
Okay, now where's the place for the regular people to come in?
Well,
There was a difference, you know?
Yeah,
So now
well,
y'all saying-
right. See, Mr. Tate, if you let me flow through it,
Yeah.
like,
I'm-
I know you got
I'm-
lots of questions. I
I'm
know.
jumping.
Yeah, if I flow through it, you'll see where everything's gonna go. But, right, so this would be the party area, the classroom for the kids and so forth. And again, if there's nothing going on here, people can sit here and eat. These will be booths and tables, right? So like if there's no parties going on, I don't know if it's a Wednesday night, people get some food and want to sit there, it's fine. Okay, we come back, we're gonna come this way now. So we come around over here, this is just the carpeting area. Again, this is on this side, you have the 2 ramps coming down over here. What you'll notice with these ramps over here, these ramps are these ramps are along existing wall space right now and so forth. So you'd come down this ramp here and then turn out to the rink. This would be a platform down here. Come over here, the storage room. The storage room is staying as the storage room. That's where some of the utility services are, as well as just some general cleaning supplies are stored in there right now. With the bathrooms are staying where they're going to be, where they currently are. With the bathrooms, there will be some upgrades and some upfits in regards to the vanities. So the sinks in there, the sinks right now are not up to code. They are not ADA. So the skirts underneath and the countertops and stuff like that, they all need to be reworked and replaced. Not exactly sure the other components in there, the commodes and the dividers that are in there right now do meet code. So we're more than likely, then they're in decent shape. We're not going to have to do anything outside of the sinks, the vanities in the bathrooms. Coming out here into the general floor area, one of the proposals that is out there right now, we got kind of a picture of it, but this right now is there's that low wall and then some stringers up there in regards to where the seating was for the general concession area at the old facility, right? Right, and then it's all tile floor in here, I believe, as well, right? So yeah, so here, taking that wall out again, this will all be, you know, open except for the support beams. There are some support beams in here, so there will be columns in there, but not an enclosed space or so forth. And then moving this into not being tiled, that would also be carpeted as well. So again, the whole thing should wind up being carpeting outside of the.
And is that just
the wood
open
floor.
space?
Yeah, there's gonna be open space, but open space for tables,
Okay.
right? Like there's other, it's an open space that's meant
Won't
to be,
used.
right, like not fixed, right? The tables aren't gonna be, you know, as of right now, tables aren't gonna be like drilled and mounted into the concrete, right? So it's not like you think. So this is now gonna become open. This used to be, this area over here used to be where the games were. I think there was a free throw basketball game over here, a skee ball, a couple other little machines and stuff like that. So again, this is just all open area seating, whatever else space over here.
Excuse me, I just want, who's presenting right now?
Oh, well, this is Rich Hahn.
Okay,
Okay.
and you're with the city, right?
Yeah, I'm with the City of Durham Parks and Recreation Department. I'm the business manager.
Thank you.
So
Sorry, I came in a little
one-
late, so my
I've been the
apologies.
one doing the negotiations with Wade, with the operator.
Okay, and that's where this diagram came from?
This schematic that we're looking at right now came from the designers from the United States of America in partnership and with working with the city and the city's designer, Paul Young. So this was this was the conceptual drawing based upon when we all met on site. Like I said, the multiple departments within the city, as well as the different designers from different agencies.
And I can't read any of the text on there, so,
Hey, Cliff,
yeah,
hey, Tom Dawson,
hey, Tom?
the graphics suck. There's a reason for that.
It's a design file.
They're conceptual in the early stage, so they're almost more diagrams.
Sure,
So there's not any kind of flashy rendering at this point.
yeah,
Um,
no problem. I just can't read the text,
But
so,
we'll send this out as an PDF and then
Yeah.
put it on the website so
Awesome.
you can see it easier.
so, quick question. Because I can't read the text, what's happening with the stage area?
Stage is being removed and it's going to be a on and off for the skating floor.
That's too bad. I'm really bummed out to hear about that.
Can you
Does-
see that
Yeah, we
one?
are too.
It's a safety and ADA code issue.
Not really. You
can- it was designated-
Hey, Cliff,
That's
You can do whatever you want, right?
let's
designated that by the
Cliff?
city, so.
Yeah,
we can
we're
move
going
on.
to continue with the presentation and
Sure.
we'll get all of your feedback and put it on all the things that you love so much onto a piece of paper. But we did miss, you did miss a kind of critical step in there. One of the biggest things that we need to do is access and safety. But we'll explain that later and we'll just keep moving on with the presentation and then save your questions for the end. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to put one thing in about that stage. That was a decision made by the city of Durham. That was not done by the operator. That was an original decision by the city. When we went in there, we met with our risk management and our attorneys and stuff like that. So that was a decision the operator just incorporated that into their design.
Do you mind if I ask a question since you're on that same topic? You mentioned ADA for having the wall around the rink. Is that like a?
That's safety. I mean, it's more safety. That's a risk management thing, insurance.
Is that but a Durham thing, right?
That is a United States pointed out thing, and it was also pointed out to us when we took ownership of the building by the city's risk manager.
And our, the risk manager is basically assesses everything in the city, a possibility for harm, and then make sure we're in conformance with all codes and also areas of concern. And what we do at DPR is manage the risk as much as possible while still having a lot of fun. So it's sort of just, I don't think we've talked about the risk manager before, but that's another element that we want to make sure that, you know, we're working with.
It's a liability
No,
insurance.
I asked just because I know Greensboro rinks, it's open like Will's currently is, so I didn't know where the regulation piece came in.
That might be their risk management's decision in regards to that. one risk manager will make a different decision and a different call in regards to whatever. What I can tell you is that our risk manager pointed this out to me when we bought the rink. We had a couple early on in our meetings, before we even what we were trying to figure out. That was pointed out.
And is that so somebody doesn't accidentally just drop off onto the rink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, we know with skating there's an inherent risk. Where we're recreation people, we get the inherent risk with recreational sports and so forth. But at the same time, the city does have to limit its risk, as well as the operator has to limit their risk, and they have to be able to get insurance as well. And when you leave things open, like I'm not saying when I say open, just leaving things and you make a decision, it does impact how and what you pay for insurance.
And one more question,
Yes.
and then I'm gonna
No,
stop.
you're good.
It's okay.
Look, Tom's like glaring.
No.
Okay, with this,
Question to the end.
huh?
That's okay.
I know.
That's okay. We'll get through it.
How much square footage, because of this, the stage being gone, or that being taken away, and whatever construction on that side, and then the party on this side, how much square footage?
We'll get to
total?
that.
Okay.
Okay, got it. 'Cause that's not a point that's gone unnoticed.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll get to it. That's it. Trying to get through. I thought was the easier thing before we talk about something. Okay, so then on the screen here, when we go past this open area here, we get to the concession area. The concession area we want to expand. We want to make it bigger. All brand new equipment going in there. The counter of the concession area will be bumped out 8 to 9 feet into the open area of what's currently there. So if you're familiar with that, for two reasons. One is to create the additional space and the additional need for storage. The other one is to get this storage room that is part of the concession area behind the wall of the concession area. Right now, it is not. It is out in the general area of the facility. So right now, the counter goes like this. There's a storage room out there. In regards to that, and I think there's going to be a little bit of a blow up on the concession area because there's a lot more detail in there. But within that concession area, we're changing a lot of where things are located, where the POS stations would be, where the soda fountain areas would be. We're actually able to do this because of the grease trap and the drain line not being correct or properly done within the building when the building was originally designed and built. And because of new codes, I'm assuming, we actually have to crack open the concrete floor in the concession area to get to that drain line. So because the city has to crack open that thing, we can like the soda fountain where the drain lines go underneath the floor and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to make these changes now and to get that stuff done. So, so that is, there'll be some, cotton candy, pretzel, the new pizza ovens, not the pizza just going through a conveyor belt thing. Well, no, I mean, it was just that little counter pizza. So I think there was 2 or 3 pizza ovens on there. We'll bring it up here in a second to show that. But yeah, some new things in here, some walls changing in here, creating some storage, new hot water heaters. There'll be 2 brand new hot water heaters put into the building as part of this too. The existing hot water heaters that are in the building or shop, they have to be replaced. And I don't think they actually produced enough hot water for the building to begin with. So so they're going to be over there, moving some sinks around, knocking down some walls and stuff like that. Walking through, we get to the DJ booth area. This is a very interesting thing that I actually learned part of this project. As we talk about safety and ADA and all that, there is, with the DJ booth, we're going to lower the DJ booth down by 1 step. Right now, there's 2 steps up to the DJ booth from inside the office. We're going to lower the DJ booth down to 1 step in, with 1 step out the side of the DJ booth as well. Things going on here. The reason why is the operator requires the DJ, whoever's in the DJ booth, to respond to emergencies on the skating floor and around the skating rink. So they pointed out to us right now, for them to do that, their staff member would have to go all the way out to the front, come all the way over this. And they asked if we were going to lower the skating rink booth for a design or a city designer issue that was recognized. Could we put in that extra entrance and exit out of that? Of course, that's a simple little easy thing, so we're going to be lowering that. The DJ booth will be in the same spot as the DJ booth is right now. The other good news about the thing, the DJ equipment that's in there for the most part works. It will be the same stuff. There'll be some tweaking of speakers and some other little amenities that are done to the sound system there, but the overall sound and light system there actually do function and work. So that was a nice thing to find. With the DJ booth going into the office, we're required, the DJ booth by I think it's a state law, is actually exempt from being made ADA. There is actually a clause in the state code that says we don't have to make the DJ booth ADA. The Paul Young, our designer for the city, knew of the exemption, and this is the first time he's ever been able to use it, so he's very excited about that.
Well, he didn't do, my question now, because you're jumping. Some of this stuff y'all bringing up, y'all have not told us any of this. And then you expect me, I'm talking about me, I ain't talking about nobody else, to let y'all take this to council and not taking out here to the people. This is what we've been saying. We should have been known as y'all been working on this and having some meetings to elaborate to us what was really going on. Now you coming to the panel and telling us, do not come to the council and disturb what you were telling me here now.
Okay, Mr. Chitz, we first of all did not tell you to go where you can attend.
I
and
know,
what you
but I'm
can't
saying,
attend.
I'm openly saying.
You guys have had multiple meetings with staff and so forth. We have heard ideas and we've heard other things. We're trying to take everyone's stuff into consideration, as well as making a facility that will operate and flow appropriately for this day and age in terms of like what's needed to be done with the lighting and the code and the risk management stuff. So we have put everything together. You guys have said it. We've collected your data, so you guys have had a say.
But I ain't know nothing about this. I didn't know nothing about the racket going around. See, I'm talking about stuff that you all could have had a meeting way before now, since our last meeting.
Except it wasn't developed yet. This is developed now.
Y'all, okay, let me ask y'all a question then while we talk. How long did it take y'all to come up with this plan?
This plan here,
From our last meeting?
this has been honestly maybe 3 weeks. I forget when I'd have to go back and look at the meeting and so forth. I mean, and again, we've had this for only, I don't know what, 10 days or something. I don't know. But again, we have heard from the community. We have heard from you. We have heard from other members of the community as well. We have heard from other skaters and thing. We have gone out and we have looked at things, right? So like I said, this is the best option that we can come with, meeting all the needs of what has to happen, right? So what we're doing today is we're showing you what it's going to look like before anyone, you guys are getting the first look at it. This is you guys have got the thing. That was, I think, another one you guys wanted to see it before anybody else, right? So this is what this is. This is what this meeting today is about.
And in terms of we just got this, we're showing it to you, we're trying to bring it to council, because I believe there was a need for speed. I think I remember somebody saying, open this rink, and this is the fastest way to open the rink. Yeah. So this is something like staff needs to work at a good clip, keeping you guys as informed as possible. We're working with a third-party negotiator, we're working with Risk, but this is hot off the presses, folks. So.
Yeah. So anyway, we go back here. Now, coming into that DJ booth, that one step, what we do have to do though in there, because of a risk, not an ADA thing, but a risk thing is, and a safety thing is, we need to put a railing down. And this is why the lowering of this was really critical, is that in order to put a railing in here with 2 steps, the railing would have actually gone in and cut off the cashier's booth that is currently there now, which would have been redoing the whole entire thing. The 1 step only allows a smaller railing. The cashier booth where it is good. We don't have to do any major reconstruction over there. There will be some minor stuff over there. Right now, the operator has asked that the solid plexiglass window be removed, and that a sliding glass window that they can leave open if they choose to can be left open, so they can have more of a face-to-face communication with the patrons and not have the little cutout area where you're showing things. And the doors coming in the front entranceway here, right now they swing into the cashier's booth and not out to the rink. So we have to change, this is just a technical thing, but it's not that easy just to change that one door. So we've got to change the whole frame in here, and we got to rework some of the entranceway there as well. So that gets over here. Yeah, you want to bring up the concession area?
That's this one.
Yeah, so this is just, yeah. So this is just the concession area, just to give you kind of an idea of what I said about bumping it out. So, you know, again, it comes back out further here. There will be a little queue line here. So a little railing, open railing, not a wall. It'll be an open railing thing. So again, like if you're on skates and you're at the counter, you can actually hold on to a railing. So it'll be around there. This is all, this is refrigerators and stuff over here. Right now, the sink is right here. The sink is gonna move to over here someplace, hot water, ice machine, stuff like that. And then these are all the different stations for various food and so forth that is typical for, you know, for a skating rink operation. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary there. But that would be, that's why I said the concession area right now, it's pretty much doubling in size. And again, creating things. And then this also will meet, because we had to change some of the things in here. We're putting in new things. It does trigger inspections with the health department. So that's the other thing too, in terms of the 3-bay sinks and stuff like that. Like we still have to maintain, you know, all health department regulations. So again, we feel comfortable about this based upon our knowledge of health department regulations and other regulations. But again, don't hold us to specifics with any of this right now, because building inspectors still have to come in, health department inspectors and all that stuff. And like Tom said, we're trying to do this at an expedited pace right now. So, you know, we're hoping everything just, you know, cross our fingers, everything gets, goes okay with the inspectors. So yeah, so, but if you want to go back to the larger one there, Mary. Yeah, so then there's the floor. In order to do this STEM area in this party room, a portion of the floor does have to be taken in order to do that. So the floor is being, is going to be a little bit smaller than it is right now. It's still going to be, I know people aren't happy about that, but in order to make everything happen with party rooms and stuff like that, to serve guests and seating and stuff, and create
programming
programming for STEM in the high school and the middle school and elementary schools, this has to happen. It just no other.
How many inches or feet?
We'll get to that in just a second. I've got a better graphic that I can show you.
Yeah, he's got a better grip.
Yeah.
It could be 18 to 20 feet that's needed over here in regards to that. So what we're saying right now is the floor size is going to be 150 feet long by 77 feet wide. So it'll be 18 feet or so, 18 to 20 feet short. And then it's 1 foot shorter on the width than what it is now. It's 78 feet on the, but it has to be, it's 6 inches for a wall on each side. But that's, it's the thing. But again, in order to meet the needs of what we need to put in this building, this is what has to happen. There is, we have looked at other options and stuff like that. There's nothing outside of this, unless you do not want rentals and parties and STEM programming and stuff like that. So we need to have this general space over here. But yeah, so then the other thing we're talking about with the contract, we are, and again, I can only talk to you right now and just in broad terms because nothing is in writing. So I can't say this is this, this, and this. But we are, again, right now we're reviewing what the rental payment to or the concession through the management fee to the city will be. We are talking about budgets. We are talking about, and we're going to go into this a little bit later about affordability. We are negotiating who's the owner of what. There's a lot of pieces right now with this project that are, you know, the city's putting in some money, the operator's putting in some money. So at the end of the day, when we open this facility, who is the owner of all this new hardware and that's going into the building? We're talking about what to do with the existing equipment out there right now, whether it's the skates or the current kitchen equipment. We're talking about the lighting. Yes, we can open today with the lighting and the sound system, but do we want to upgrade the lighting and the sound system? Who will be responsible for paying for it? Who will do the work? So there's a lot of that going back and forth right now with that stuff. Trying trying to think what
Are the
else.
little blue dot seats?
Oh, yes. Okay, so in here on this wall out by the concession area, thank you. This would be a countertop with, and these would be secured in seats. So there
Like in
is
a diner.
like in a diner. So this would be like a countertop. So if you, again, you have food, another place to sit or whatever else, or people are out on the rink and you want to look at them, there will be, you know, a countertop there.
Your plexi in front of them.
We understand we don't want people dumping stuff on the rink, right?
That's a really good point.
Uh,
Let's write that down and make sure that.
Well, no, I mean,
Sneeze
that is, it has been talked about and discussed in regards to if someone is standing
I
here.
can see a drink right now. just-
Yeah, I mean, right, I mean,
That ain't gonna happen.
yeah, I mean, so, because again, at the end of the day, we don't want to lose the floor, right? We have not found any major water leaks in the roof. Doesn't mean that there aren't any. There are some stained ceiling tiles here and there. So we're doing that. Where the other part of the negotiations we're talking about, again, just like who's paying for what, who's going to be responsible for what in the long term, term of contract. So all that stuff right now is going on. And we have a lot of that stuff figured out in principle. So we are working on a draft of an agreement in regards to that. That hopefully will move forward. Hopefully we can have something in place with the operator come early fall, is what we're shooting for. The operator right now is, again, consulting with us and working with us in good faith in regards to the facility, because they want to open the facility as much as you guys want the facility open. I can tell you that by just some of the negotiations and comments that we have. They also want to get out into the community.
Is that red line a wall or open to on the west side?
That'll be a wall. That's
Okay.
because there's tables
Okay.
here. Yeah, I mean, that's just a wall. The ramps will be on the sides over here to get down. So
It's like a half wall or something, like it still looks.
yeah, it's not a full wall
Yeah.
up. Yeah, you're going to be able to see over. But again, like, it's all conceptual. We know there's going to be a wall here. What the wall looks like, the color of the wall, is there plexiglass on the top or whatever? I can't answer those questions right now. Those are going to be some of those little, like, smaller minute things. What we needed this for is to go ahead and to figure out what is the cost to upfit this building. The only cost we had prior to any of these meetings about designs and rebuilds and upfits was the cost to make the building ADA accessible and to bring it up to code so that we could, like, if we were to open it up doing nothing, and that was the $1.6 million. That was just to bring it up to, like, we can actually let people back in the building. And that didn't take into account, we as a department, we actually went through and did like the sprinkler system, because before we let Duke in there for the clinic and stuff like that, we did have to make some upgrades or some upfits to the fire or the alarms and stuff like that. So yeah, so that is the basis of the design. Like I said, negotiations are ongoing. What I can also tell you is that, like I said, like, they are very excited to get into the Durham community. They want to do things for the Durham community, and they want to involve the Durham community in everything they do. They will have lots of different types of, you know, theme nights and programs and stuff like that. There will be, I don't want to jump on to the next, there's a section here that means, I'm already gonna talk about, but they are in there, and I'll bring something up when we get into the affordability section about the need of what they want to do for the community.
I'm gonna be
Move on
quick.
to the floor.
Is that?
Floor?
Yeah, before we leave this, two things. Thank you, Rich. This is a heck of a lot of work. It's negotiating with an outside operator who has their own thing. They're bringing something to the table. Rich is our business manager. He keeps our books extremely good. We go through audits and just sail through audits because everything is very level. Another thing Rich has managed in facilities that are equivalent to this. Boardwalks, maybe
Yeah, it was golf courses, beaches, concessions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do have a background in regards to public operations.
Which is cool. So he's the kind of person who'd be on the other end of this, figuring out how to maintain, manage this facility. But I like you just the way you are doing our books and making sure everything and negotiating with these folks. Real quick, I just want to show floor size, brown, pull up to the blue. What I read out of this is that this is all open. The blue is all open, and you have specialty areas in green. So you guys are going to get a chance to really look through this on your own time, light reading before bedtime. But just, I like this openness because before you had a lot of like weird separations. I had a birthday party here for my daughter. It was pretty cramped feeling. This is all opened up. I just like this openness. So flipping to my section, one thing I was concerned about just in general, just because we talked about it, you might want to blow that up, is the existing and proposed. Whoops, that's okay.
Well, here, this is the.
Oh, yeah.
There's a conceptual, that's kind of like again, our Wheels is not going to have a drop ceiling. We're not putting, the ceiling is with the way it is with the rigging and the lights. But that's kind of like just an example of a wall with a slanted thing on that south side. And then you go back, it's, small. Kind of like the countertop area.
Could you blow that up a little bit?
Yeah.
Enhance.
So are you saying that a counter, like you were saying, that counter area where people can come and sit is gonna be right there at the skating ring? With no space in between there?
With a wall in between.
Well, there'll be a wall.
I'm talking about walking space.
Correct.
No, walking space.
If you go back to the drawing, there's just only on a portion of the wall, not the whole length of the wall, just a section.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, like she's saying, I'm asking you a question. Will there be walking space in between there, or will it be just up to the skating ring part, right there, then we'll go down there,
Yeah, let me zoom in. So.
go back up, right there.
Yeah, there's no walk between the skate and the counter.
Okay, there's no walk to,
It overlooks the skating rink.
now.
And those are 12-foot picnic tables. Standard what we have.
Do you
So
want to address some of the questions that we might have on the thing first? Eddie, I see your hands raised.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I wanted to ask a question with I know you said space for the STEM program that's to the right of the diagram.
Yeah.
Was that City of Durham's idea or United States or collaboration?
Collaboration.
Collaboration.
Yeah, because I think United States was dying to chop this floor down.
Yeah, that's
And
why
I think we've missed an important thing here, and I'm disappointed.
well,
No, it was a collaboration between both groups, between the operator and us after feedback and so forth, and looking at the building and trying to get everything in there. Did they come back and was that part of that meeting and coming back saying, oh, hey, can we do this here? Yeah, there was a lot of talk about how can we save portions of the floor and how can we not. This was the best option that all the main parties could come up with for that facility.
My question is based on that. With these skating tournaments, will that floor be wide enough to have?
good question. I can get into
That's
that.
the
And
Tom.
also have some interest.
That's what I'm looking at too.
Right.
Because the skating ring as a whole drew our competition to be able to hold these things here. And we want to continue to be able to hold it.
Enhance.
We want to make sure of that too.
Yeah, that's what we'll look at right now. So all of that's hard to read. I just wanted to look at what we have in a couple comparisons. I'm not advocating anything at this point, but I just wanted to show current rink 170 by 78. That's the current Wheels rink. Zip up. Proposed rink 150 by 77. We talked about the wall difference on this side. This would be the expansion. So you see how this lines up that's to scale. And what I did is just took trace paper, took the dimensions, and then just to see a comparative scale. Now zooming up a little bit, this is our seating area. Zooming up a bit, this is the some of the dimensions, the only dimensions that we know about. You guys might have other criteria that you can point to, but I think this is the WFTDA, the roller derby. What we found in the research, minimum rink size, that's 75 by 108. So that's the typical that they have for that particular sport. There might be others that we might know about. We wanted to look at a little bit more broadly, and if you have other examples you'd like us to look at too, we could. These are a couple dimensions from areas around. You mentioned Greensboro. I'd like to see what Greensboro does. Hiram, Georgia, 145 by 75, smaller. Benton, Virginia, 150 by 80, slightly different, about the same size. Stockbridge, Georgia, 145 by 70. Tallahassee, 146 by 64, much smaller. And then Lynchburg, Virginia, nearby, 70 by 150, a little bit smaller too. So these are things that we're looking at. And if you have any other groups like Greensboro or places, we can keep looking at those to just show comparison.
I think for us, we don't necessarily, I'm glad that we at least align with what's out there, but I think the asset to Wills was we didn't align. Like
Right.
It was so much larger that it was like the asset that,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, I
you go
get
to
that.
Roxborough and it's like
Yeah.
tiniest.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's all we have right now.
Yeah, there will be compromises in the design process, but I just wanted to see what's, and what Rich is doing with this is trying to find all of the programs that you suggested and that keep the skating rink as well. We're just running out of space is a problem. That's all I have. Is Gideon have a question?
Yeah, Gideon, do you have your hand up?
Yeah. There are a couple of things that I wanted to comment on or ask about. So I'm curious if the dimensions for the roller derby track take into account kind of like the splash zone that we have outside of the track, because it's like a full contact sport. So when you're full body checking someone and you get knocked off the track, like you usually need a little bit more, like about 10 feet or so, in order to like safely play the sport. So I'm wondering if that's just the track itself or if it also accounts for like additional space. And then a couple of other.
Yeah, we could look into that and then see, but the 75 it would still fit within that because we have about
We're only
40
losing a
feet.
foot that way.
And then so yeah, I mean it'd have to fit. But
No, I'm saying on the existing rink now, Gideon, we're only losing a foot on the width. So like from 78 to 77 and the 108, you would still have 42 feet on the end, on the ends where you, depending upon how you set that up.
yeah, but we can look at that and just see where what the crash space is, the extra crash space.
Okay, thank you. I also have a couple of questions or maybe just like clarifications. So I was under the impression that the DJ booth would also have to be brought up to ADA compliance. And I'm curious the specific, like, I guess, statute, regulation, law, or whatever it is, that states that it doesn't have to be.
We were too until our architect, we were too until our architect found the source code. We can send you the source code.
Sure.
What you're saying.
And then that'd be helpful. I'm just thinking of like the potential limiting factor of who can be hired in that position if they can't access the DJ booth. You know what I mean?
Y'all going on state and not federal. Because I'm gonna call federal and see why, because I'm like her. It should be because if I'm handicapped, even though I'm a DJ and I can't get up there because I got a wheelchair, you all deny me my rights to be able to use that.
That's a great point, and I generally agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, so
I just came from-
we went into that DJ booth thinking that we had to make it accessible.
Okay,
we
then
were
why
told
did one
by,
side you can't make a ramp? Why can't you put a ramp on the far side?
I think it would interfere with the concession area
we
queue
could
line.
lose more floor space.
No, I'm not talking about on,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the consistency on the,
Right.
it'd be on Right, I'm talking on the left over here where you got the other,
Doorway.
that one step two to come out.
That's into the office. If you put a ramp in there, the ramp would come out and take the whole.
No, go.
Yeah, you can bring up the thing and you can blow it up. I can talk about this. And that's what with this concession, with the DJ booth, like I said, we went in there thinking we had to do something with it. This is, the operator as well as the city thought we had to. So here, blow this up a little bit here. So,
Go over a little bit.
Sorry.
this is the city hired architect that told us that we don't have to
Okay,
do
I'm
this.
talking about, I'm talking about on, right there where your hand is,
Right here.
right there.
Yeah.
Now, how's that gonna have effect in going inside that building?
So because it's gonna come out to here, right? So this is a queue line right here. So like if you, again, slope and grade, right? So how, and I'm not I'm not
That's what I'm
an
asking.
ADA person, but like there is rise over
15
the
feet.
distance.
It's about 15 feet.
This
per
would have,
foot.
right, so we're
Yeah.
talking like this, like to put a ADA ramp here. And I'm just I don't know exactly. It theoretically might end right here to make that slope and grade to be
So,
what it needs.
And,
to
you know,
be
from
at.
an ADA standpoint, we got an architect telling us, and putting their stamp to it, that's what they're dialed into the federal law. The federal law informs the state law. A couple other things we don't have ADA ramps to, lifeguard chairs. I mean, there are circumstances we don't. If there was a situation with this program, I'm pretty sure we could find a way to
Yeah.
put it on the floor or make an accommodation for that.
And
for
this
that
is,
use.
there's a carve out specifically for DJ booths. Like I said, we were not aware of it. We went into this thing thinking that something had to happen with this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so they're informing us, and in this case, you'd be suing the architect and, you know, because they're telling us what is the federal law, what is allowed, and we're trying to make sure, we just came from an inclusivity meeting on that and playgrounds, that we're trying to make playgrounds as inclusive as possible, ADA accessible, and some parts of playgrounds are just not ADA accessible because by the needs of other people too. So this is one of those areas where the federal law grants an exception in this case.
And the rink they would put a table out, because that's typically what they do at United States. They'll just put a table out and the DJ brings his own stuff and.
yeah, and again, because when we were talking about if we did if we had to make it, if we didn't have this carve out or this exception, like how could we do it, right? How could we do it? How could we move all those controls, right? You know, like all the lighting controls, all the ball controls and everything else right now, because all the controls for everything, the lights on the rink and all that stuff is in this here. Just the general lighting for
Could you
the
go
rink
up
is
to,
in there.
could you go up to here real quick, back over to where the tables are? And this is Tom spitballing, but say you wanted to throw a party in this area. In theory, these tables are all movable. So you could shove them against the side and build a small platform for a DJ and a ramp for a DJ or a small stage, in theory. That's the thing I think, what I like about design flexibility.
But it would have to be
That's the soft.
portable, can't be fixed.
It'd be portable, you know, which is something we can buy. So we can buy a stage.
So basically
Right now.
accommodations can be made, it doesn't have to be specifically outlined in the design, but case by case in the reality.
Right, like
of
if
the
Mr.
situation,
Chavis
an
wanted to come
accommodation can
DJ
be made.
with us,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
if you do, just let us know. We
Please
have
do.
many events you can come to. Forget about the ring. We're always looking for a DJ or for even our internal work events.
Well, see,
So-
what he just said and what y'all haven't been said, these are the things I'm looking and listening to. How is there some other exception ways of doing this? And y'all not saying it until we are bringing it up. Just like he just said, those tables could be moved, a DJ could be put there. These are the things that should be brought to the public so that we can know that these things can happen.
These are just internal facility
I know
design.
that.
We do that all the time.
We took from your other meetings. We know we have to, and your ideas and so forth, right? So we took all that, again, we heard you guys, we have a list of what some of the things you guys are looking at. The little things like where the DJ booth and stuff like that is going to, that is just stuff we have to move forward with. That is not like you can't go and ask 20 groups where they want the DJ booth to.
No, I'm
to be located.
not questioning
So-
where you're putting the DJ booth.
Mhm.
I'm not questioning it. I'm questioning the person with a handicap
Yeah.
that can't get in there. And that's what I'm gonna bring up to the city, because I am disabled.
Okay, right, and
And
what
I
we're,
don't think that, I'm not gonna say what I gotta say now.
Okay.
I also pay my taxpayer money,
Mhm.
but any other disabled person that wants to do that job should be allowed to do it.
with,
But would y'all say so? Would y'all three say so?
no,
I'm
with
not-
reason,
what y'all
the
telling
code,
me,
Mr.
now what you're
Chavis.
telling me,
Okay,
listen, let me talk now. What y'all telling me, y'all three people telling me, it cannot be done.
what I'm saying to you is that we have to, when it comes down to ADA, it's a reasonable accommodation, and financial reasonable accommodation gets into play. We have looked at this. We have been instructed and informed by our contracted architect that this does not have to be accessible. We are still lowering it down to be on a lower level. We have discussed other options with this. This is the best option here financially for the city, as well as for the flow and operation of the building, without delaying this project any further, right? There's a lot of controls that are in a DJ booth. It's not just a table with this. This facility has a lot of stuff up in the ceilings that is controlled by this. It would
And they
have
need
to
to
be
be
moved.
high so they can see out over the place.
Yeah.
But Adrian suggested some reasonable accommodations for
If
for
a
that. I
temporary,
suggested some.
Yeah.
So there's, the thing is we have a project with enough good bones that allows programmers to program and make the accommodations that we need.
But y'all still getting one thing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stick to it. Durham allowing us disability people not having access to do work that we are capable of doing, and we are out here doing it. And the city is not taking that in consideration.
no, Mr. Chavis, if you came in and you were gonna be a DJ that day, I'm sure the
I'm not talking
operator
about-
could
I'm
put a
talking about
table out there
if I
temporarily.
wanted to apply for that job as a permanent worker, I couldn't apply for it because you're telling me that it's not ADA.
No, I'm sure they can put some extensions on some things and move, for you, if we had to make an accommodation for people, we would make a reasonable accommodation, right? That is what it is. It's a reasonable accommodation. If the accommodation can be made, then the operator can make the accommodation. If it's not reasonable within the operation and the operator has tried to try and figure it out, then sometimes we just can't
So,
make a reasonable accommodation.
Let's not try to unpack the ADA right now, but your point is well taken. I appreciate it. Like Mary and I just came from a meeting that's to try to make playgrounds more and more inclusive and
We're
accessible.
working on it.
I do want to make sure that Elmira has a chance to speak. And we will have more questions. Some of these questions we might hold. Elmira, am I correct in assuming that it's that?
Well, we're just gonna talk about the affordability, and I was just gonna talk about the opportunity for engagement, further engagement of the community, because they're gonna have a mural there.
So affordability is a key point of what we have heard from you, and I want Rich as the budget manager to talk about that and make sure that that point gets done. Because if Durham teens can't go here, then it won't be considered a success.
Yeah, I can't share with you right now, because again, everything is still being worked on in regard to what the fees are, but what I can say is that the city did make it known to the operator that we do want the facility to be affordable to the community. We asked the operator to adjust some of their fees on certain evenings and so forth. The operator came back. What I can say is that the operator came back with a counteroffer on there that is more beneficial to the community than what the city had requested. So not going into the specifics right now because everything is it's nothing signed off
But
on.
higher than what you all suggested, higher or lower? than what you-
It was more beneficial to the community.
Okay, good.
I will leave it at that in
Yeah.
regards to that. And one of the things they said to us is that they heard us in regards to what they wanted, that they wanted, this is gonna be something for the community. And as part of that, let's just be a little bit of a slip of my tongue here in terms of that. What they're proposing, will not be something that the city will have to fully offset. So we'll take care of what we asked for, and then what they're proposing is on that.
So we considered, we might have to subsidize Durham youth, and they're actually negotiating in the right direction, which is pretty great. And keep in mind too, that we don't want to have like that, this is, we want to make sure we're somewhere equivalent to the area, because we don't want to undercut, a private group too much, but we want to make sure Durham teens are served.
So yeah, I mean, but it's not just the thing we're negotiating is not just for the teens; it's for everyone. So the fees we're playing around with right now will benefit everybody in the community, not just an age group.
But we love Durham teens.
I would classify as a senior citizen.
So
I need to hear some more about the stage. Because if you can put a pop-up stage on the other end where you're cutting the floor, then that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Hey, Cliff.
No, that was
File
just
under Tom's good idea. That architecturally sounds good.
that was
I'm spitballing, and I mentioned the caveat that I'm spitballing, but we can make reasonable accommodations.
I'd like to say something.
Sure.
Because that was one of the features that made this really unique, and also opened up the opportunity to employ local musicians as well. And I don't understand why the stage couldn't be made safer with fences and gates. That doesn't seem like a very expensive option. And so I'd like to hear more about that, please.
the stage is not an exemption or a carve out in the code for accessibility. There would have had to been ramps that would have had to come off the stage, and the ramps would go into the general area, taking up floor space. So right, when you start putting on railings and ramps and stuff like that, you start taking away floor space, whether it be floor space on the wooden floor or floor space in the carpeted areas of the facility. So again, it's that rise to run the state. I mean, again, these are just for examples. I just want to, like Tom said, just think like the DJ booth even being one step up, that ramp is going to be
15 feet.
15 feet long.
Feet by 5 feet
that
wide.
stage is more than one step up. We're talking about a 20-30 foot ramp to make that
15
accessible.
feet plus a 5 foot landing pad plus another 15 feet for two.
Yeah, but you could put
Hold on, Cliff. One second. You had a question?
Yeah. Let's go back to the blue area where you said the parties are going to be
The green area there.
right up in there.
And the classroom, I want to be clear, that's also the party and the
The-
classroom area.
Okay, so the parties will be able to be sort of private without the public being walking in.
I don't know the answer
We
to that
don't know the
question.
answer to that.
I mean, because there will be, there is when I say accessibility, it's meaning entrance, right? There is an entrance through here from both sides. I don't know how the operator will handle private parties in that area. With stanchions or something, I don't know.
Those ramps going down on both sides.
Mhm.
Are they going to interfere with a skater? If he loses or she loses advantage, is going to cause any injury to that
Yeah.
skater? As-
That's a good question. I was going to ask the same thing. Thank you.
As it goes around those entries on both ends onto the floor.
So what I can say is that these ramps come down to a platform. If they don't go directly out into the wooden skate floor, they will come down to platforms. So again, this is the existing raised area over here. So the ramps come down to platforms, and then from the platform, the flat platform at level with the rink is how you get on and off the rink.
So the ramp is coming out of the green space or the blue space, not.
Yeah, but ramps just don't sound like a good idea to me. That sounds like an accident waiting to happen.
But
It's the
this is
ADA
flat.
You've got people who of different abilities, and they can barely stand up on the flat floor. on the skate.
Gray means flat, and the ramp is the only known solution to get onto the floor. It's especially ADA compliant. there will be handrails along there where somebody like me would use the handrail down the ramp, go onto the flat, wait for a moment, and then go onto the floor.
Actually, their rink in Raleigh, there's no ramp. You just go straight to the floor. And in Raleigh, they don't have the wall all the way around either. It's a large, whole side.
I mean, so one of the things we had talked about too, we had talked about even like raising the floor up. Back to one level. Get rid of that drop. Again, this is the thing, best option.
So like be a ramp, if we go back over to this stage area, old stage area,
Or the other side.
why would there be a ramp against the wall? Instead of having the ramp protruding out, it's just the wall behind the stage a little bit, and fence that area in as well. I mean, I think there's solutions to making the stage area safe and accessible.
Why y'all don't want to stay?
I think
The city
having live
does not
music.
have stage
That's
there.
what I said, y'all, you included. It was supposed to be.
What's that?
You said-
So with the eastern side here, the existing, if you look at for those that are at home, if you look at those smaller, short red line walls there, that would be where the existing wall would be. Like Tom said, that gray area, that long gray area there, that is a complete flat area. And then you would have that long red line in the back would be the back wall of going down with the two green ramps coming down. So again, they would not interfere with the skaters coming, like if you're a skater.
I think he floor and that's the ramp. Are you saying, Cliff, you could run right into that wall?
Yeah, there's no way to point anything, but I'm saying against the very side of the against, what is that, the east side of the building?
Yes, the east side, Hoover Road.
So against, butted up against the east side wall would be the ramp to get to the stage. The ramp would be behind the stage, and that way it wouldn't have to bleed out from the sides of the stage.
The ramps right now are going down to those skate. We have, like, there's no way for the ramp to go up to the stage. You have to leave this as a walkway.
What? I'm not hearing you, sorry. I'm an industrial designer, so I understand some of this stuff.
Okay.
And I know that it's possible to have a ramp to go up to that stage.
But there's no stage. So
I'm just saying.
again, like if you look at this, like if you're going up in a couple of, so if you go, where the stage is now, that's a couple of feet up, right? It's not, either way, I mean, this is what it's gonna look like on this end of the building. So we've taken into, we know you guys want the stage, it's just unfortunately this was a city decision to remove the stage. The stage was removed from day one.
Yeah, I mean, what's bothering me here is you guys seem like you've made your decisions on this stuff. And so what are we here for?
We're here to show you what the decision is going forward with the design. So that you guys asked to be the first ones to see it at the time. So we wanted to make sure that you guys saw what was happening. We've created program space, right? You guys had talked about program space and the ability in the future to generate even program outside of roller skating, right? I believe there was some other ideas that were thrown around in there. So we needed to create floor space in order for that to happen.
I thought we were here to kind of guide this process. But just kind of being told that this is what we're doing.
Well, I feel like you guys have guided this process. Like we have gotten a lot of feedback from you that we put into the consideration here, and
a lot of the stuff that I felt was important to us has been totally lost.
Mm-hmm.
The stage, the size of the floor, those were like, as far as I knew from our last meetings, those were like really big things that a lot of people agreed on.
Yeah, we heard that. I mean, we have passed along and advocated for that feedback throughout this process, or for those elements throughout this process. I think when you start talking with the designers, what works for the operation, there are compromises that have to be made, as well as technical things that we aren't always privy to in the kind of visioning process of this.
What concessions did they make? Like, how did we, it seems like we came up with a lot, and then like, where did they meet us in the middle? Say, I mean, they did with the pricing, which I appreciate, but.
No, I mean, it was back and forth. I can tell you, like, as being in the room with all these discussions and so forth, that there are things in this drawing here that were city things and things that were operator things, and then there was a collaboration, right? Like I said, like we went out there and I mean, originally one of the things the city was talking about doing, the city designer wants, this is an easy one, I'm not gonna get them, was that instead of these on and off ramps being over there, was to take the corners over here and bring ramps down to the rink this way. Even this was the city designer shrinking the width of the rink.
Like the swimming pools, how they.
Right. So we would have shrank, and in order to do that, you would have shrank the rink here, and you would have shrank the rink here, and in the center, what do you do? Because you can't have just this area, this no man's land. That was the city said, well, we'll just put, like that would be a seating area, like kind of like that countertop area and stuff like that, right? The operator came back and said, no, that's going to shrink the width of the rink, right? If we already have to take a little bit of space down there, we don't want to take more space from the rink. What if this is literally them. They said, what if we did these ramps in the corners, right? Those two ramps in the corners over there. We had already figured this out here, in terms of like what we were going to do.
And just to give you, so these are all words. This is all conversations between the community, the United States, the city, risk. The architect is the one that has to take all of these words and see what fits in actual physical space. They can't use a rubber scale. They can't stretch too much. And so if they tell us a ramp is absolutely necessary given all these programs, we absolutely need it because they're bound by federal law, right? So they're the ones advising us on all of this and trying to take all of this information and put it in through these different parties. The good thing about that is it's one architect for two different groups moving fast as they can and taking all the information and putting it into something that can be built within this year, which is the mandate.
I would rather see it,
1 second, Cliff, sorry, we had a question in the room.
Sure.
I'll come back to you.
I just had a quick comment.
You mentioned the fact that you could bring the floor up to level with everything else. But that's gonna take more time, that's gonna be more costly. And,
It was just an idea in terms of how to handle the drop off, like what do we do in regards to that? I mean, that would entail ripping up the entire existing, like we're trying to, again, like you would lose the existing floor. We would try and maintain it or say, if that was the direction of the city was gonna go, this existing hardwood and all that other stuff, some of it would get damaged through that. You would list that historical, the historical portion of the would again, even with this over here, when we do with this here, with this in here, the plan is to build on top of the floor, right? So we're not going to remove, like the floor will always still be there. It'll be underneath this section of where this is here. I mean, we'll have to fill some holes to get into the contents of the floor, but yeah, it was just we were throwing things out, trying to figure out how do we solve the risk issues, how do we solve the safety issues, how do we meet a deadline of 15 months or 18 months. How do we get through the permitting phases? Like I said, even the concession area, like all these things had to be discussed in regards to that. Like the sink, originally on the side of the city wanted to get rid of the sinks. And I said, you can't get rid of the sinks. They're required by the health department to have, right? You have to have a 3-bay, or whatever, 2-3 bay sink or whatever it is. And it was all these little things because we're trying to get this rink open. We're trying to get the rink open as fast as possible without delays. And so there's just a lot of stuff like that. Because even with that stuff there, some of the stuff in the concession area, the operator wanted it in one place, and the designer said, "No, it's not gonna work you have to stick to my stuff, right? So again, there's a lot of that little stuff back to, so Adrian, to answer these questions. Oh yeah, hold on, I think we got to get to,
Oh, Cliff was next.
yeah.
Sorry.
I just wanted to say that I would rather, wait longer and have a better rink.
Oh, this rink is going to be amazing when it's open. So, like I said, it's all going to be, it's going to be nice and new inside. There's going to be, like I said, the concession area is going to be up. I mean, we're losing a small portion of the floor size, but you're gaining all the program space. You're gaining the STEM program stuff and the other educational programs that they're doing.
But you're really not losing the floor, basically just covering it. The 20 feet, you said that.
It's 18 to 20. So this is where, again, like, don't hold us to, like, it's on the dimensions here. We're working off of, like, you kind of know where this has got to be. But yeah, we're going to lose like 18 to 20 feet of the floor. But the floor itself, there's no intention of ripping, like cutting, like this is what I was told, right? So then when we were on site, again, as of right now, we don't plan on taking a saw, cutting across the floor, taking that wood and throwing it in a dumpster. Now, if once we get into this area and whoever again, we're all in the design phase here, right? These are conceptuals and these are designs. Once we go into construction, things are found, right? Things pop up and find. So I don't want to say to you 100% that nothing's going to happen to the floor. What I can say is we're doing our best to maintain the floor as is and just build on top of it. But again, what happens when you open up something, like if anything at home, you're doing a home renovation, you open a wall up, and you just thought you can open a wall up, change this, and all of a sudden you open it up and there's termite damage, dry rot, or something like that. We don't know what we can't see. That's why I said about the roof. We also know that right now we believe the roof is fine. What? Yeah.
I have something to.
Well, we're gonna do some
I have
sealing
something
around
to share
things.
about that.
But the air handling units are being replaced up on the roof, and we have to put tie-offs and everything else onto the roof. So we will be penetrating the current roof membrane in the current roof of the building. Right. So like again, like these are all things during construction.
He's in charge. Then we have if it's the architect's fault, we can go to the architect. If it's the contractor's fault, then we can go to the contractor. So anything that comes up in this is something where there's a chain of responsibility, and we're hiring professionals to make that happen.
Like it really is like that drain line. If you look at the I don't want to say because I'm not 100% sure, but some of the designs for this building shows that the drainage pipe running out this way, what was approved on the original planning drawings was a pipe going out over here. The pipe doesn't come out there. This just it comes like this and swiggles around and all this, it comes out the front door. So when the initial city designer was going in and trying to look at the plumbing work that needs to be done and stuff like that, it's just, again, they thought something was here. It was not here. It was all the way over here. And that just changes the whole construction and design process. So, but we have to go with what we know right now, which again, hopefully we can just build on top of the floor. And then be on the same thing on the sides. We're going to just build on, anchoring to the side concrete and the floor.
Jenny, what's your question?
I have.
Too much facility name.
Oh,
We
yeah.
haven't talked about that. And I know that with the park across the street, the city chose one name and the community made it clear that they wanted a different
That's
name.
actually not accurate. The city chose a name that was a athletic park on Cooper Road to be named. So that's just wanted to make that very
Okay.
clear.
But their name is representative of their history.
Yes.
The history of the community. So I'm just wondering if there's a name selected already for this facility, or if that's gonna be an area of engagement, or if like the art.
I had that on my list too, so thank you.
So
Representative.
my negotiation orders right now is that, and again, a spin-off or where I have it, but is that Wheels is in the name.
That
Okay,
was the main thing. I
That-
was gonna mention,
that
I
is-
really like,
that
please,
is
like,
something-
You're gonna keep the name.
no, that is something that I believe the community needs.
Gideon has her hand up, or their hand up, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, I just have something to share, because I would practice with folks pretty regularly at Wheels before it closed, and frequently we would have to deal with a leak from the ceiling, like through the air vent or AC or whatever. So I don't know if it's a roof problem or like an AC problem, but just so that y'all know, that was something that would happen pretty much every time it rained.
Yeah, I'll back that up.
And a couple of other things. I know that there's been like a lot of feedback about, you know, the green space right now and taking away from the length of the skating space. I'll just say from my perspective, having practiced there with my roller derby team, we would frequently use that space that's going to be lost to teach our beginner skaters so that we could both have like a beginning skate class running at the same time as our seasoned like veteran skaters on the track. And so I know to y'all, like it's 18 feet, it's 20 feet. I just want to name that it does make a difference for some of the folks that have been using this space historically. So
Yeah,
it would be a loss for us if there
but-
is roller derby programming.
Roller derby, I'm trying to learn something.
I guess. Oh, and the other question that I have is that it seems like the current cafe space is open. Like there hasn't really. I guess I haven't heard this yet, but yeah, like that blue space that's like right in front of the concession area.
Yep.
I'm wondering if that. I guess in my mind, like that could also be potentially used as a party space without like necessarily taking away from the skate floor space. So I'm curious, like, what y'all's thought process was in like not utilizing this space but taking that green zone instead.
Okay, so getting just with the leak on the roof, yeah. When the new units go up there, they gotta have to seal up around all the ductwork and the piping and all that stuff. So, but thank you for letting us know that there is one, because we thought there might be. It just doesn't show on the floor. Like we haven't
Actually,
seen.
there's several, because when you skate during the rain, there will be cones and buckets
Yeah.
on different.
We
so
see
it's
it on
not
the
just-
ceiling tiles, but we don't see any water. So after it rains, we've gone in there. We don't see any on the wood floor. We don't see anything on the skating surface. So, but no, that's going to be looked at. It's all going to be looked at.
That's because they had buckets and
Yeah.
stuff.
No, I'm saying since
I
the
could-
city's owned it, we've gone in there and we just don't see puddles on the floor. So we're trying to see what the potential. The general area here outside the blue, outside the concession area, that will have general cafe or tables or chairs in there. Because if there is a party going on or an educational program going on in the green area, you still need seating and stuff for the concession area. So it still will be concession area seating. It's just we're opening it up. We're losing a little bit by the expansion of the concession coming out, and then we're opening up that area where those walls were, but there will still be tables there.
Okay, now I'm looking at your arrows on that drawing. If you're seeing from that area to the wall, all the way down, and that's gonna be, what's gonna be, we're seeing, to me, all that's open space. It's gonna be seating. What's gonna be on the other side over there?
Where over here?
Yes.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not that. I mean, it's a decent size area. There might be just some open area here, right? But that open area here, like if you have tables and stuff over here, and you have all these tables over here, and I don't know. I guess you could do it on the floor or whatever else too. But again, it's just an open programming area, right? Like, so you can do like a yoga class over here or something. This is me just in my head, like thing. I just know this is going to be seating area over here and so forth. Right here, this area right here. We haven't designated like oh, this here is. I mean, this is a walkway. I mean, there's spots like this little outcropping here will be an open area too, right? I mean, I don't,
My main interest is right what they were saying, right there in there where you got your arrows there. You're gonna have some space right there put your hand where the white is.
Mhm.
Those gonna be booths for the concession stand, am I right?
well, I'm not gonna say booths, it could be tables.
All the way down, or how many? What I'm trying to see, I'm trying to see the
That's-
same thing
we-
they're saying, that you got a open space over here. They can also be eliminating that space by using it not to interfere with the skating rink.
There's not, but if you did the general public over here, there's not gonna be enough space over here to create a separate party area. Remember, the bathroom doors come out this way, right? So you're gonna have this here. So this is a party area plus the STEM classroom area, right? So you try and move this, take this footprint and bring it over here. You now have no general seating for the general people.
Okay, you clear that up, okay. What is that little beige part right there?
This here,
Over the top, yeah, right there.
electrical service and disconnects to the building.
And you mentioned the doors, like right now it's open, you're saying you wanna put doors on the back. Like right
No.
now it's open.
Yeah, it's just
you're
open.
saying-
What I'm saying is that you can't put like a table right there.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
you need to be able to walk out of the bathroom.
I see what you're saying.
Like the bathroom, like if the bathroom doors were over here where that storage room is, like if they were kind of thing, then this wall becomes a usable
And then
wall.
the water fountain is gonna stay in that spot, right?
Yeah, I mean, we might change some water fountains or upgrade things. All the water fountains have to be upgraded anyway because they're not to code right now. They're not high lows, so they'll be probably high lows, maybe a bottle filler, maybe 88.
And the drill was going down, going through so that skating into
It ain't safe when you go grab hold.
over.
While we're skating, can I grab hold to those rails going around there and use them to walk around on the skate?
I think it's just going to be a straight flat wall. There's not going to be a railing. I mean, I think a railing would be a dangerous thing to be on a skate.
But it
protruding out.
it can be a stabilizing thing to grab onto.
You mean the wall?
Yeah.
I mean, within reason. I mean, a 2-year-old's not going to be able to put their, I mean, it's going to put the flat wall.
But yeah, it'd be like a half wall.
Height wise, I think all of us would be able to just the wall. It's not going to be like you can't see. But yeah, I don't want to say it's stabilizing everyone.
And remember, there's an element of risk skating to it, and that's kind of one of the reasons why the DJ booth needs to be able to have a perch and look around, because somebody's going to break their arm.
And and there'll all be, there
Not
will,
Adrian. Anybody but Adrian.
there will be the
It will probably
I
be.
forget what they call it, skate mates, right? The skate mates, there'll be skate mates, all brand new skate mates, all brand new skates. There are free wrist guards for people to use. I forget what it was. A couple of hundred different wrist guards or something like that.
What about the area in which the kids who were distracted to balance themselves? Used to have a little area they would practice back and forth, before building their confidence, before they actually get on the wood floor.
That was down there at the end.
That would be the operator and their instructors. We're not going to tell, the city's not going to tell them to use this area for anything. That's we hired an operator with knowledge of skating. We're not going to tell them how to do it.
So the operator dictates to practice that.
Yeah, that's up to the operator. Like I said, we hired an operator to run the facility. The city is not expert in any form or way, and we fully acknowledge we don't. I mean, maybe in our personal lives, some of us do or whatever, but like we're not village instructors.
Did you mention a pro shop somewhere?
Pro shop.
Pro shop? No, just the ticket counter. Just the thing, the Redemption Center.
Is there gonna be nowhere where I can buy parts for my roller skates there?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Pro shop is where they can buy, like they would buy roller skates.
Like they want just
Or even like.
bearings or
Yeah.
wheels or stops or whatever else.
Yeah.
At some, I can ask if they're gonna sell that stuff or have that stuff available out of the skate rental area. But it's not something that we have discussed in regards to
So
that.
also a good market for an entrepreneur like a local skate shop in town to say, oh, maybe I should start carrying roller skates now. And
So,
roller skate items like Manifest.
Just to throw out a couple other things, just so people know, because it's on the drawing here, and if you just zoom out a little bit, on the exterior of the building, oh, I don't think they're on, it's not on this drawing, this is on the other one. But I just want to let you know is, all the exits here, the exits coming out of the building, I don't know if this show you, the exit over here, which is where the dumpster was on the west side, 70 side of the thing. Right now, that is a ramp going down that is going to be leveled up. It's going to be a straight walk out to the front of the building. The sidewalk in the front of the building is, and parking spaces and all that right up against the building are not the code. They are being all regraded and redone. They're going to be brought up to the right slope. So it'll entail some new sidewalks in the front of the building, as well as the far off corner on the east end of the building where there's that exit door off to the back onto the south side. There will be a concrete walkway. Right now you walk out into the dirt, mud, trees, weeds, whatever. There will be a concrete walkway that comes off the back of the building, wraps completely around the side of the building, and connects into the front sidewalks of the building. So all entrances and exits out of the building will be brought up to ADA code.
Any parking improvements, like, not parking, the lot.
So the parking lot, so yeah, so in the front of the building, there's going to be, will be where, one of the, so if you're looking at the building from the parking lot, there was 2 planted areas, I think, right there. One of the planted areas I know in one of the conceptual parking lot drawings, the bike rack will be put there, so that'll be cleaned up, filled in right there. The parking spots have to be widened, some of them for the ADA stuff. There's a couple of islands going in as well as some trees that are going in. The problem with the parking lot is that this is only phase 1 of the full property renovation. So we have to be careful about what we do now, because it's like I talked about earlier, I mentioned it quickly, but the dumpster is staying where the dumpster is now, but in the future, when Splash and Play happens, that dumpster and grease trap that we're gonna figure out right now to make the health department happy has to be moved. So it's only a temporary thing.
Remember, doing wheels first is something that council said, go do wheels. It would have been, from a construction standpoint, it's always harder to have one active program area where you're doing construction elsewhere. So we'll probably only do code compliant, a minimum of the parking lot. And when we mill the asphalt for the entire site, all those parking areas, bring them all up at once into its kind of final form. So
Are you gonna eventually have bike lanes?
let's hold off on Splash and Play questions. I got
Sorry.
a full presentation for
Okay.
you. Catch you up.
Let me ask you one more question. The parking lot on the outside one on the food side, are they both of those are still gonna stay there?
TBD. So parking lot, TBD is to be determined. The parking lot on Hoover Road side right now will be considered with the entire development of the site. So in the next phase of the design development phase of the Splash and Play plan, we'll be looking at, okay, what is this parking lot? What does this gravel pad need to be? That can complement wheels. Do we need more parking? How do we get to it? Is it going to be a recreational amenity like a basketball court or something? So the good thing about that is within the city and the public process to kind of to help out and figure. The nice thing about it right now, it's just land it's land that's sitting and we're gonna keep developing what the best use of it is. We don't have plans for that now. But we know that it's an asset and we know it's right across the street from us. I'm gonna
No,
pass.
I'm not talking about that side, I'm talking about,
Small
So-
parking lot next, right between Hoover Road and the building.
yeah,
As of right now, with this here is what Tom's saying. That parking lot exists.
We need all the parking we can get for wheels right
In
now.
the-
yeah, but that's why I was asking, I'm glad you in the process of looking across the street.
Yeah.
You know, we asked about that, but I'm talking about, we've asked the parking lot to stay on that side as part of fields to help offset parking space. You know, it's not just can be used for wheels, but it's also an access to wheels to make sure people in wheels have a place. You don't have this over here crossing over there, or that crossing over there, unless it's absolutely.
Right now, the only thing that's happening over there is the part of the grassy area on that side has to be removed to put in the, I don't know if it's 4 feet wide or whatever, the ADA walkway that's gotta come from the back of the building around the front. So there will be, you got the parking lot, and you got this grass / muddy area, so this is wet, especially in that
Okay,
corner.
you talking about the little part, the
Yeah,
little
his-
street that come out the back way?
Yeah, you count the fact. I'm just saying that little grassy area
Yeah, I know what
between the
you're talking
parking lot and the building, we do have to put a sidewalk in there from the
Okay,
building. back of the
you
building.
talking about the little back area that a lot of people don't know about.
Right.
Well, it's an emergency exit, but yeah.
We gotta keep it because of an emergency, but we wanna make it so it's not like, pave it so that you can get out.
Well, it has to be, yeah. Right now, it's not.
So Rich, maybe, you and Omara could talk about next steps.
I have a question for you, the next step, you missed something. The art engagement opportunities with regard to the contract.
Oh, yeah, I was getting that.
Yes, good.
So that is, there will be a move, and it's, we have to, I guess, advertise, get the artist. That is a opportunity for us to have public engagement.
So that's a mural for the exterior of the site.
For the exterior.
Funded by the city through another process, where, which is, through one of the art process, and we'd like to invite everybody to be a part of that too. It'll also be in conjunction with, the arts committee. So it would be shared, with the arts committee and with.
And inside, there'll be some murals and artwork done on the walls inside of the building there. None of that stuff has been identified. It's just been talked about in regards to, we don't want to just paint the walls, stuff, right? Because we're talking about stuff with the black lights and the lights and stuff like that, glow in the dark. So there's a lot of that going on. Anyway, so the exterior stuff, the interior, the operator and the community will be involved in that. They want. What they came to us was they said, "Oh, we want to do something nice inside." They said it had, but they want to base it upon Durham landmarks or Durham things. So again, it's another
Durham
thing.
artists.
Yeah, but they specifically spoke about it being imagery has to be.
Well, I see the residents committee get a little plaque somewhere where our names can be in history.
That sounds good.
Do you want to put you on?
Huh?
Just a little.
I mean, I wasn't gonna push my luck with that one, but also too, the programming, what about programming is being incorporated into, the contract, or is that like, the derby, the disco sweat, all the things that Wheels used to do, is that being incorporated into the contract as well?
So we're not going to specifically say to them in a contract, this is what the program you have to, program names or things, right? They have to do lessons, they have to do rentals, they have to do the program. That's about the extent of the contract. We're not going to specifically say, we're not, we're hiring someone.
I think though that that's gonna eliminate a lot of, but when we say programming, I think that's gonna, it's not gonna be Durham centric anymore. If we just have United States usual programming, like some of the things that made Wheels what it was just because they did have certain programming that you could only get it because you weren't gonna go to another rink and get the same
And we will pass that information along.
Back that up.
As well as, Mr. Watson, right? Mr. Watson.
Yeah.
Mr. Watson has put in multiple proposals to me. I want to recognize Mr. Watson again that I have to do. I'm holding on to all this information that Mr. Watson has sent to me to hand over to the operator once we have a
This is the
contract.
point about.
If there are ideas about programming and so forth, we can facilitate and we can give the operator the information that the community is looking for. As well as everyone in this, once we have the operator on the contract and they're on site, everybody in the community can go and talk to them about what they feel the community programming should be.
I think that though, once it's a done deal, they're gonna do whatever they, and there might not be opportunities for like the Derby team after practices. All these other smaller groups that would rent the facility, just events that you look forward to, that you knew, okay, this is gonna happen. And I'm gonna use DPAC as an example, just from my work in there. But part of that building being put there was so ADF could use the space. Like that was part of the contract of from June to August or May to July or whatever, ADF got that building. And then we had to work out programming around that. So it would be nice if there was something similar incorporated with this to make sure that the things that are there are grandfathered in, and then anything new, then you can negotiate.
Right, so we can look at like an organization or two, because like in your example there, but to specifically say you're going to do this type of program, this program, this program, this program, this program, this program. And you're pretty much tying their hands in regards to what they do as an operator, right? They're the ones, they're the experts, they're the ones that are doing this, right? They also have to be successful and they have to make money, because that's the other thing too. We don't, and Adrian knows this, I said, we don't want to just go out and then, 2 years it's full apart. We'll bring it up, I'll talk to them about it. But I just want to be clear that it's not a guarantee that it's going to be in.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I
Durham
just
is.
say something?
Oh, go ahead.
Can I say something? I guess I'm just really concerned about, kind of like on one hand, I understand they're a business, they need to, be able to operate financially. And currently they don't have any programming around roller derby. And if I'm going to be honest, like the Bull City roller derby, the Durham team advocated heavily to keep this space open. And so to not make any sort of commitment to like allowing our sport to exist in Durham is really disheartening. So like, I hear what you're saying. Like you don't want to, on one hand, dictate like what this private operator can or cannot do. And I think maybe, I don't know what the middle ground is, but like, if we can have someone advocating on our behalf to make sure that like we can play this sport, this very niche sport in Durham.
Yeah,
I
mean,
think
roller.
that would,
Gideon, roller derby has come up. Right? It's not. They're not trying. Like I said, the operator is not trying to just get rid of everything. Right. What I'm saying is that the community, like once we have the operator in place, the community can come. We'll tell the operator we want the operator to go out and talk to the community about the program need. The specific programs, right? Like if we get in that we grandfather in the Durham roller derby thing. I'm just saying like there is so many other organizations and groups and other people that use the ring that you guys are just, we're listening to you, but you're a small portion in regards to the overall city community, right? So if I took everything that everybody said and put into a contract, like it's not going to work, right? Like in terms of like the program, it's just not going to, like I said, they know they're going to do rentals, right? They know they're going to do parties. They know they're going to do lessons. They know they're going to do other stuff. They're doing STEM stuff, the kid stuff, this other stuff. I'm just saying, like right now, it's not in there. Looking into possibly putting some kind of language in there, but I'm just more on a vague thing. I don't like I wouldn't walk into a golf course and tell a golf guy, here, this is what you have, right?
Let me cut you off. That's one of the things that we said before y'all chose who y'all wanted to choose, to give the people a chance to talk to the operator. Now, why can't the community, before y'all sign this contract, sit down the same way y'all are sitting down talking to them. Why can't we sit down there and talk to them and make our suggestions to them so that they can hear directly from us, not from you all? Because everything y'all keep telling us is y'all taking our feedback and you're putting it in there, but you're leaving out some. So let the people, community-wise, organization-wise, come to the table and talk to these operators and let them hear what they would like to see as part of this place.
Correct, and then it'll be, once we're under contract, if you guys, like.
No, I'm
right
talking
now,
for the
Mr.
contract.
Chair, hold on. We are collecting the information from you, and I
Well,
can
I'm
tell
tired of
you.
y'all collecting
Okay.
information and
We've
using y'all
collected,
way.
I know, but we've collected the information, we have brought that information forward, and we've talked about it with them, okay? They do programming, they do a lot of the stuff that you guys want to talk about, right, the STEM stuff and everything. The only part of the programming that I think was spoken about or whatever was, there was some things about cooking classes and stuff like that. And we don't really have a cooking kitchen there, so the cooking stuff's kind of, because we don't, the cooking part of that operation was in the old building, right, with the commercial stoves and the fryers and all that stuff. We have talked about a lot of different types of programming and stuff like that before. We've talked to the operator about it, okay? We took that into consideration when we did the RFP that went out to look for an operator, all right? For people to put in what kind of programs are gonna run and so forth, right? The stuff was all there, right? There was a listing of programs. There's a few people, in this thing that know, again, like that know programming was included in the proposals. So we have done that, okay? Once we have a contractor and thing, we're gonna ask the contractor to talk to the community. And to be
I
a
want,
part of the
before they
community.
talk to community, because once they sign that contract, they are not obligated to give the community what they want. And the community should rally with the city council members to, before y'all sign this contract, that y'all have a open meeting with this operator to discuss that. I'm not saying he's gonna give you everything you want, but the basic things that you all can sit down, just like y'all do the negotiation. Why can't the community folks negotiate on their own behalf and not you all? Because what we see y'all doing is what we do not like. And y'all take control. So I'm asking you to ask the operator, would they call a meeting with any organization dealing with these wheels, with roller skate, that would like to meet with them and discuss their type of program for running or having to discuss with you.
So
Because that won't be so
and
hard.
once they're under contract, I will make sure that those meetings.
No, I'm gonna try to stop that before you get on the contract,
Okay,
because I think y'all.
That's your choice, Mr. Davis.
Yeah.
I am trying to negotiate a deal for the betterment.
No, you're not making a better deal, you're making a deal for yourself.
I have.
We're getting into some really
Yeah,
interesting.
Mr. Davis, I
Yeah,
can
I'm
tell
sure.
you that I do not benefit from this in any form or way. This is true. I do not.
You get paid, Tyler.
Folks,
I
it's,
get paid
it's
by
8
the
o'clock.
term, yes, yeah. So,
I'd like to,
It was said that you all, Aaron Pond and Rick, was gonna do everything that they could do to keep moving this person because they there won't that many people who apply to run this. So, with that being said, I hear, I see where you might not want the community to talk to these people before they sign.
We can't do anything that she's saying at all.
Of the fact that you think that it might run them off, and then you wouldn't have an operator to take care of the facility. Now, that's the way I see it. And I have listened to both sides. And that's my understanding. And I can see where you all knowing that this is the only person that you have. And you don't want to lose it. But then if you bring the community in before you get this contract signed, then you think they might run them off and you're left with nothing, and then you got to go back to square one. I don't know.
That hadn't occurred to me until just now, but.
Yeah, that's not the case.
But that's an interesting point. The mandate that we have is to open wheels as soon as possible, and that mandate came from the community, went through city council, and
But
yeah.
this would throw you back and
Oh.
put you back at square,
Well, why
almost
don't
at
we,
square
you know,
one.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and-
I mean, is there like, is there any harm in asking the
Yeah,
operator
I mean,
if they
sounds
wanna?
fun.
Outside of,
community
we've
meeting
got all your program ideas or
Right.
whatever else, so
Right.
I don't know, I mean,
What's wrong with the people talking to them face to face? What's wrong with that?
there's nothing, but Mr. Chavis, what I would like to do is get get on their contract so that you can then go ahead and we could set up meetings, because they're gonna have time from when we get the contract, them under contract, to set up their programming. They don't have, like, they have ideas of things and so forth. They will meet with the community. Okay, but I need to have them under contract so that we can say them like, oh, hey, because we'll say that if you become sensitive, like have like, a public meeting with the community once a year or something like
Like, we
that.
could put that in the contract.
Yeah, we'll just put there,
Yeah,
Now,
but
again, but I wanna-
listen to the community for what they want now.
Right.
I know they can't get everything they want. That's not what I'm saying. I know you can't. But say for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of us, we got 9 different types of programs. We all represent the community. Why can't we sit down with the operator and let him hear us out of what we're asking? And then they can go in and look at their program and see which one is feasible and which is not. That would make the community more wanting to support this than just having a dictate.
and that can happen in the fall and in the winter to get the programming scheduled.
I think what Rich is trying to say is, we can put in the contract that they are, or we can ask for in the contract, negotiate, that they put public meetings as part of the process moving forward about programming. So they would be upheld in the contract to speak with the community about.
Once or
programming
twice a
options.
year or something.
Right,
To give you an example, they don't work for us now.
right.
But within the program ideas that Adrian's seen, as part of they had a lot of great program ideas that seemed to match a lot of the stuff that we were interested in. So, and they also seemed very willing to understand Durham, be a part of Durham,
Yeah.
hire from Durham.
They've
And then
expressed a lot
match
of interest in like working with the community and wanting to reflect the community in the programming that they do.
And the community is also the roller derby group.
There are other individuals that have sent me information and have asked that I don't share the information with the organizations until we have them under contract, or the individuals allow me to release information on ideas to them. So I'm trying to respect all things here.
That's a really
So,
good point. We're
once
not
I have
allowed
them
to
under
talk about what
contract.
the programs are yet, because their programs are like their science, and it's proprietorial. So, but I don't see a reason
I'm
why
not
they
talking
couldn't
about
do it.
their program. I'm not talking about their program.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the community program that has already been existed. They want the people that's operating hear the value of their programs and see how they can work in it together.
Right.
And because they're the ones gonna have to try to help them make some money.
Right, but we don't officially have an operator right now.
Well, then-
Once we have the contract issued, then we will have an official operator. We can have them sit down with the community and go over community wishes and needs in regards to programming going forward. We don't have an official operator right now. We're trying to get one hired. So, and
We
it's
can't
not, we're not worried
mandate
about
to
them
them
running
at this
off.
phase, yeah.
Well, we're not getting that thing, but what I'm saying is that we're gonna we're gonna ask them to meet with the public about programming. But right now, I don't have anyone hired. I don't have
And we
it.
know you don't have anyone
And
hired.
this is similar to like artists and architects. Until we get them under contract, we don't tend to have them, do work for us. So.
If I could make a suggestion, if this group could possibly put together these priorities to share with the vendor, but like that they can see and contribute to, and like if it would be possible to say like of these, the top 3
are things that we really like want to see. Like, we don't want roller derby going away, no matter what.
Programming wise?
Yes.
Yes.
I
We
can
see
do
that
that
suggestion.
Yeah,
And I will
mean,
hand that over after the
Send
contract is
that
signed.
via email.
No, we don't want y'all, see, y'all still wants to be in control. Why don't y'all want the community folks be in control and talking to these people? Y'all still want control.
No,
That's
Mr.
what y'all
Timmons,
want.
we're going to have you talk to them.
I know how
Have
negotiations
conversation.
work. I know how negotiations work.
I know that is not how.
That's not how the city park and recreation wants it to work.
Or
Let's
city
go ahead and
council.
say it. Now, it's not how the city council, because I don't talk to someone. So that's not how they want to work. They want the community to have all the input they want to have in this. And I keep telling you, you all are not allowing us to have any voice. Everything y'all doing is making decisions.
Listen, Mr.
Yes.
When you come to these meetings and give your opinion, everything is recorded, okay? Those opinions, those what you want,
But
that
then-
goes forward. You might not see it go forward, but it goes forward. It does go forward. I'm here to make sure of that. That's my
But
job.
guess what?
To make sure
But guess
that
what?
your voices are heard.
Some of it is heard and some of it is left out.
I don't agree with that. It's
I
just
know.
because you have to have a plan. So you're all given pieces of the plan, pieces of the puzzle, right? We take this puzzle and we provide the information to the powers that be, to the people that's gonna make it happen. You know, no, we're not gonna get everything we request. We're not gonna get it. But we will get some of the things that we request.
Okay, then what's so wrong with the community folks just sitting down
I'm
with
not
this
saying
operator?
there's anything wrong
Well,
with
then
it,
why
but you
don't you-
act as if,
I'm acting like y'all don't want us to have to talk to
you
them.
act as if we're not putting any effort
I'm not
to
saying
do
you're not
what we
ever.
need to do to get input from our constituents. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying you all are putting y'all on, and I'm not saying it behind your back, I'm saying it right to your face. Okay, I'm not talking behind your back.
Okay.
See, I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
So what I'm
So
asking
our
now,
next steps.
I'm saying now, what's wrong with us having a meeting with the operator before you sign it and talk to them and let them see us and hear what we got to say? We're not telling them they got to do this. We're not making no demands. We just want to sit down and air out what we would like to see them do. Because these are the people that wants to use this place, and they should have the right to speak to them before y'all take it to council. Now, what's wrong with that?
I mean, and to that point, I would like to expand on that and say that, you know, if you know, we all want it to succeed. Of course, they have to make money, but I think, you know, not listening to the community is not a way to get support behind it, and I think that would potentially, you know, work against their bottom line, because people just may not go because it's you know, it's not it's you know, it's not what we had in mind, and it's just another roller rink, you know. And I think the whole point of this was to make this special. That was my understanding of it, you know, to make this a Durham roller rink, to get the community involved from Durham, to put together something that is unique to Durham, and
What I'm hearing,
that will pay for itself.
you guys are familiar with United Scapes. Some of you are familiar with them. You seem to project or seem to think that our roller rink is just gonna be one of theirs, like in Raleigh or in other places. But that's not the case.
It was told to
Because
y'all
all
in the
your
beginning.
input,
It was told to you all in the beginning. You go back to your notes and read. It was told to y'all in the beginning that so many of these organizations did not like the way they was running their roller skate centers. So it was told to y'all in the beginning. So this is nothing new. So what I'm hearing and what I've heard before, This seems like it's gonna be the same thing they're saying. They gonna come here and run this derby, this road state, just like they run others. If there's
That's not
nothing,
what not what the negotiations are predicting or not. They said they wanted to do Durham. So that's what we,
But you've already taken away the two best features of the rink, which is the big floor and the stage.
Can you say that again, Cliff? Sorry.
He didn't get his two things, the floor and the stage.
Okay.
They've already taken away those two, from my perspective, were two big things that we had advocated for. Do not cut the floor down, keep the stage.
And the stage was removed by the city. I will remind everyone that again, be very clear about that. And the floor was a collaborative between the operator and the city. So it's not, they did not do anything on their own. Very clear about that.
but you have to have space for the program. You have to have space for the parties, for the vendors. If we'd have left it like it was, we wouldn't have that space.
Folks, I think we're hitting a wall.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, and it's not a roller skating wall. I'll tell you what, let's wrap it up. We're gonna send out the emails from this. We're gonna take your comments, especially on, in regards to operator programs, and then figure out what we're legally allowed to do. You know the operator, and you know everything that we know at this point. Design process is messy. Not everybody gets what they want. But our goal is to open wheels to Durham community at affordable prices by the end of next year. That's the charge rate.
All right, I have one more question. Is this the final design?
No, it's part of the design process.
I would like to see, and I would like the city, since it was the city who made the call on the stage, I would like that reconsidered.
Okay.
I would,
We'll unpack that directly. What our risk manager talked about with that, we can send you very detailed information on the stage. And with that, I'm leaving.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vivian, what, sorry. I see your hand up.
Yeah, I was just curious if there will be another opportunity for us to speak with y'all before the final design is decided on.
Yeah, we can.
So will we be able to see any revisions?
Yes, we can. I think we've received a lot of information tonight. We need to digest, as well as go back to the operator. And then we can meet again.
Well,
And we don't know what, if anything, will be different. But I think we've received so much information tonight. We've had a lot of discussions that I do think it would make sense to kind of come back together and talk.
And I really appreciate whoever put the puzzle piece in.
Yeah.
We're one part of the puzzle piece. The architect is the architect. They're the ref in terms of what physical space gets done. And then we have the United Skates, and we're all just trying to work out the best solution for everybody in the fastest amount of time.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I'm curious.
I just want to point out one thing. What's happening at the council meeting, an amendment to hold to the designer of the city's contract to allow him to work on stuff outside of the ADA and safety upgrades, meaning the design files, right? So in order for for this to become design files or final things, scope and stuff like that, we need to be able to increase the contract of the designer in order to incorporate. So I just want to be clear that that's what's happening at the next city council meeting. It's increasing the designer's contract.
Because the designer got a bigger job.
Not approving a design.
There's not, the design is going to be approved within city management. Right, like the thing at the council.
So what you're saying here is not putting anything out. What you're saying is this design is here, showing us up, but it will not be on the design stage for you all to present to the city council on the next.
No, this is just supporting documentation to say, hey, originally what was allocated was
safety and ADA, right, for design work. We now have to go into the beautification and the upfit of the facility. And in order to do that, we need to have the contract, again, we need to have the architect. There was a little bit of wiggle room in his thing to start the process of the drawings and cost estimation and all those other things that go into
So
planning and design.
the architect didn't have a client other than just the ADA. With the contractor, now we have somebody to work with, but that designer, so we have new scope.
He's getting money to his contract.
And so that's adding money to the contract, so he can actually take that gobbledygook that you can't read and then turn it something you can read, and then continue with the design considerations.
And the cost estimation.
And on that note,
So the city has to approve of that.
yes, yeah, so to make it a better facility. And accommodate.
There was no money for painting the building, there was no money for carpet, well, there was money for some carpet, but there was no money for anything else, right? So,
And this is an unusual process if we would, because it's accelerated, because it's get it done within a year. If we'd done it on a 5-year timeline, we'd have, 5 years to work out all that. But on that note, folks.
Thing. Can we have,
What did you say?
love to have
Gideon's here.
at the next resident committee meeting.
So, say that again, Cliff, I'm sorry.
I would love to have United Skates at the next residential meeting.
Okay, noted.
And maybe perhaps the architect too. whoever's
Sorry?
redesigning, or like because you mentioned the architects, the folks that are redesigning are also a party that.
we can't.
Gideon, just,
You know, we can just
I don't
do
know if I want to do that, because that means we need to pay architect prices for 3 hours in the evening. He has small children, so you might have to trust
Sure.
in that area. The architects just
Yeah.
to do the client's job. So just saying, I don't know if we want to hire an architect to listen to us for that long, unless that's part of the scope budget. We got a fee to consider. So, and we can't go back to council and say, we also want the architect.
Fair enough. Wish list, I guess. But in my mind,
Bill wanna,
getting everybody
architect
together makes sense.
for, build us all the cool stuff. You got me. I'm a landscape architect. Close enough. All right, y'all.
All right, everybody.
Licensed landscape.
Thank you all. We'll reach back out.
Thank you. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, thanks,
you.
Cliff.
Enjoyed the listening and all the information. Look forward to the next meeting.
Thank you, Eddie.
I didn't even hear that.
Yes, yeah, check.
He just said it.
And there's someone walking around.
Yes.
Taking around.